Hi guys, and welcome back to the Zone. This week we'll be talking about Guns of Icarus Online. It was a game made in 2012 and was kickstarted. It made 3 times what they wanted to make on the Kickstarter, and it's a steampunk sort of Zeppelin kind of game, isn't it? And it was based on the original Guns of Icarus Classic, which was made in 2010, that was made by MUSE Games Industries. What are your views on the game, Rob? What do you think of it?
I think for such a small developer, they've created a beautiful game. It's one that you just go in. I don't think I've come across a single bug yet. It's simple but beautiful at the same time. It's simple.
Yeah.
In the way anyone could just go in and start playing it straight away, but there's enough detail that the more skilled players have a lot more that they can do, and that's how they can outgun you, by skill, not by unlocks or the level system.
Yeah, I mean the unlocks on the game just literally unlock new character customization rather than anything else.
Just aesthetics.
So the ship customization. So you can each have like sort of 6 types of ships. You got like galleons, which are big, heavy brawlers. You've got like goldfish, which are like the quick, zippy little ships with hardly any guns on. They each have their role to play. And it's good for each team to have a variety of different ships. You can like ram people in it, you can use the heavier guns, the lighter guns. They all have their own categories as well, like some are shatter rounds.
Some pop the big balloons that hold your ship up, sending you hurtling towards the floor.
Flechette rounds. So it's very well balanced, the combat itself and the way the ship customization is, because anyone can have any of the guns from level 1. And it means that you learn as you go along what guns do what and what's good at what, which is very good. Improvements at all to the ship customization, do you think?
Just increase the amount there is, but they've already got quite an array of weaponry.
I mean, what I'd like to see from the online is more ship customization, but in the respect of like character customization. I'd like to stick pirate flags on my ship, or you know,
ride.
Yeah, basically, yeah. Put spinners on it,
yeah.
Anything. So,
well, we want zone written down the side of the ship in big letters.
Yeah, so people know.
Have a pirate flag out about the zone flag.
The character customization, that's also a very good thing, because I find myself when I'm playing, even though there's no strategic advantage to actually increasing my level, the fact that I can unlock an awesome hat or a coat, like rather than having to pay for it, because there's a lot of microtransactions in the game, but that makes money for the developers, and I'm happy with that, because it's not one of these microtransaction games that actually takes the fun out of it, because people can buy a better gun than you, and you don't want to spend the money. So what the fuck's the point? You've already spent money on the game. Why would you want to spend money on a better gun? So it's fine that it's all cosmetics and aesthetics, isn't it? Rather?
Yeah, it doesn't influence how good you are at killing another ship. Anywhere does money come into
It's
it.
just who's got the bigger, basically.
Yes.
If you see someone with fucking flowers all over them.
It's completely aesthetic. But you can unlock the stuff by just levelling up. You don't have to pay for it. There's different stuff you get, but clothing-wise, you get lots for just levelling up.
They've just brought in dyes as well, haven't they?
Yeah,
recently.
so you can paint yourself.
Yeah, so you can have team colours, like the Zone has team colours and stuff. The air combat it's an air combat game, but the difference is that you know, you've got other games like that, War Thunder, things like that are planes combat, but the thing with Zeppelins and the air combat of them is the axes you're fighting on. It's very up and down, left and right. You can spin on the spot. It's not like planes where you have a quick blast at each other and then you have to do a long loop round and come back again.
It's more like ships than planes. It's ships in an ocean more than planes. Yeah, in the galley you have to spin your ship round sideways to do a big volley on them sideways, or other ships you do focus firing forwards more like an aeroplane.
Yeah.
But they tend to be weaker or smaller.
Yeah, smaller ship, and you do ram as well. But the thing is that, you know, if someone's broadsiding, you can duck below them and then come up the other side, spin round, and then volley them from that side. So the actual air combat is very balanced. It's very good. There's a small variety of ships, but the variety of ships you've got there is good. Like, they're all got their different aspects of good and bad. There's not one ship that's hugely better than another. Then now the scenery, the maps, beautiful in every sense of the term. You've got rolling sand clouds that damage you if you go into them, so you've got to keep watching on the environment as well as on your enemies, or trying to force them into the sand clouds. Some maps are set in defunct sort of cities,
Yes,
and you've got to like weave through all the buildings, and you might not even know where the enemy is, and then you weave around a corner and they're right there broadsiding you. So the actual maps themselves, I've had a lot of love put in them, and they are really, really beautiful with all the clouds that roll in. So it like you can't see where a Zeppelin, and to see a Zeppelin come out of a cloud, especially like a galleon or something broadside, it's a beautiful sight.
When it's all quiet and you're looking for the enemy, you're hunting them down, and you whip out the telescope and you're looking, and then out comes, you see the shadow coming through the cloud, and it comes and you start screaming to your captain to turn your ship, and it's awesome.
That's the other aspect of the game that we love as well, is it's very much a team-based game. If you go in a team that you don't know the other players and stuff,
you're going to have a bad time.
Yeah, normally 60% of the time they run around, they don't do what you tell them, and you get your ass handed to you. But when you've got a team, like we know Zone has a team, when we go on, we know exactly what our roles are, we know exactly what you're doing because you've got the 3 different roles. So yeah, you can really get a good team basis, and you've got your own little keywords that you tell each other, so it really helps in that way. Is it worth buying the game?
Yes, I believe it is definitely worth buying the game, and I think with the DLC that we're going to mention in a bit, the potential of this game, it's going to have so much more coming in that'll make it way better than it is now, and I would already say buy it now for the deathmatch. But yeah, we'll get onto the DLC in a bit.
Yeah, no, I definitely think this game is worth the money it is. It's not too expensive. It's not, so cheap that you feel like you're stealing it from the developers. It's a good, solid, you get what you pay for and you enjoy it. And if you've got friends that you like doing co-op stuff, then it's awesome. It really is. Especially if you do it sort of competitively as well. Like we're actually in a tournament coming up, Zone R, that's
against the Press Start community.
Yeah, the Press Start community, which should be good. And that's actually backed by MUSE as well. MUSE Gaming are actually backing that. So
I would give it with a warning. Yes, I would say get it, but I would advise that you do play it with either friends or join a clan in there, because just being on a ship constantly with randomers, you're not going to enjoy it that much, and you're not going to learn quick enough. It doesn't matter about your level, like we've said, you start with everything at level 1. But knowing what to hit and how to hit it and where to shoot with the different types of guns is all stuff you learn from your friends and
from talking to people.
Yeah.
Yeah. So I'm joined now by Sam, Nexus 616 or whatever handle he seems to go with on the day. He's one of the Zone community. He's also our cameraman and sound engineer. You're here to talk about the DLC with me.
Yes, Guns of Icarus online DLC, because
it's looking good.
It's looking really good. It's looking like one of these shared world. I mean, the online at the moment they've classed it as skirmish, and it's quite interesting that people think that is the full package of the game. They're like, great, it's a skirmish match with blimps and pipe wrenches and dust coats, and everyone's like, brilliant, that's all I want. That's all I want. And then we've had a bit of a dig around because I didn't realise that there was a Guns of Icarus Classic.
Oh yeah.
So we had a look on the Steam. We were just going, we'll have a bit of a nosy. And the Guns of Icarus Classic is, it's
sort of single player.
It's freelancer.
Yeah. Well, basically, freelancer with Zeppelins. The graphics aren't great, but then again, it was made sort of 4 years ago now, and it was developed by a small company on their own. So you can't expect too much from them. But in that has born and hatched this beautiful steampunk era, really in depth. Like the storyline in the DLC is going to be really in depth. It's going to be really. There's I think 6 factions.
There's going to be 6 factions around the world, and it's going to be, as I said, it's going to be one of these shared shooters. It's going to be. I feel that they've developed Guns of Icarus Classic, and I thought that was a brilliant game. We love Freelancer, we love that. And then they've developed the skirmish mode for Guns of Icarus Online. And they went, this is a really popular game mode, but we want to bring it into a context like Destiny are doing, like Star Citizen are going to do. And they want to give players more avenues, because who doesn't love MMOs? Who doesn't love FPS shooters? So why not merge them together? But that's not the first DLC they're going to release. The first DLC is going to be the co-op shooter, which is small skirmishes, but they're going to bring in some diesel punk planes that you can fire up against.
Yeah.
And then the world building DLC is going to come up.
Yeah, and then you'll have you join your faction with your crewmates, and then you sort of, it's very much, if any of you remember a game called Silk Road, very much like that in the respect of you grab your cargo, you dump it on your boat, you say, I'm going to take all this food to this village at so and so a place, but I've got to get there in one piece. So you set off, and then there'll be another team from another faction, and they'll say, oh, we've heard word that so and so is going from point A to point B to get this food to this village, go and intercept them and steal the blue stuff. So it's very good in that respect that it's bringing sort of that back into it, because I mean, when we used to play Silk Road when we were 13, 14, it used to add that whole fear of moving with your goods, thinking that every bush is going to hold an assassin jumping out and trying to steal your shit. So that really, I love that feel. I love that, and with the steampunk things, there's nothing more. I love them screaming down the headset like port side.
Oh, that is!
Oh my god!
That is a beautiful part of the gameplay when you
think you're out Pirates of the Caribbean.
And it's just when you sit down in the game, and you're like port side, aft port side, and then people are going, do you mean left? I've got left. That's what I've read up, and you just go, my god, man. Get off that gun.
Yeah, off the starboard bow, and they're like, what? Like, oh, fucking hell. Front and right.
Oh, okay. And we're just like, port side. Bring it around port side.
Yeah, it's that glorious hole. You really can get into it and in depth, and if you play it with, as we've said before, with a team, and you trust your men, like you trust your engineer to be repairing. If the pilot, because the pilot can like burn the engines and stuff, so if your pilot's burning the engines, it's damaging them over time. But if you've got to get away from something or skirt around something, you have to burn those engines. You've got to trust your engineer to be right there, ready, fixing those engines back up. And that is what you need in a game. I feel you need that trust between parties, and that when the DLC comes out, there's nothing better than to have a team you trust and to be doing missions with them, and that sense of camaraderie and feeling when you do deliver the food and you blow that other ship out of the air and give it a big fuck you. Like, there's nothing, I don't think there's anything better than that.
But what I feel that, as we said before, the combat is really well balanced between ship to ship, and then inside the ship, I feel that the roles are really well done. It feels like every character, because you can only get 4 people on a ship.
Yeah.
So it feels like every character's trying to do 1.5 jobs.
Yeah.
And that always works well, and they can do 1.5 jobs. You can have the pilot go like, all right guys, if you keep on...
there is nothing better than seeing you're on a gun on the side shooting away, and then suddenly your pilot, you just turn and look at the other gun and your pilot sat on it. And you're, who the fuck's flying this thing? And then they've just literally jumped down off the helm, started firing while they're broadside, got back off, run back up, sat back on the helm again. Like, it's that whole sort of, you don't have to be the set role you are, you don't have to be gunner or engineer, but you do that, and then you do other stuff as well. You go the extra leg for your crew, because you don't want to die, you don't want to blow up. But the simplicity of the game, combat, everything, really looking forward to this DLC, can't wait.
I mean, they've done really well on the Kickstarter. I feel that the Kickstarter for Guns of Icarus Online was more of a promotion, like, look, we've got Guns of Icarus Classic.
Yeah.
Here's what we're going to do. We need a little bit of money, so we're pulling it in, and then they've already met one of the target goals for the DLC. They've already met, we have a director for this map of DLC. Because unlike other DLC that we've seen recently, it's not, here is a small segment of the game.
Yeah.
Again, this is, by the way,
you're worth your money, basically. This is worth your time.
With Guns of Icarus Skirmish, you have bought one segment of the game. And then the world is just going to add the rest of the game onto it. Yeah. And I'm really excited for it.
It should be good. Should be very good. Well, thank you for watching. Like and subscribe and comment below. If you want to be in these videos, as I say, you can comment.
Ruined! Ruined!
What the fuck, man?
I know! Ruined!
You even put it on silent. What kind of silent is that? You promised me, man.
I know! I forgot I'd alarm it too.
So yeah, just do some stuff and we love it. Bye.
I've ruined that entire good segment.
Oh,